Hello everyone, it's Charlton. Please subscribe to my channel, tap that notification bell, and like this video. That helps me to keep making videos, and I would appreciate it majorly. Thank you. So today I'm going to show you how to, well, hopefully how to fix a leaky tub spout, particularly when the diverter's on for the shower. So that basically when you go to turn the shower on, the water keeps pouring out of the tub some, as well as the shower, kind of decreasing the pressure from the shower. Everybody likes a lot of pressure from their shower, and so I got to fix that. So it's on right there, and when I do this, you can see I got my shower head off there, but it's coming out tons down here. And so the odds are I'm going to have to just replace this whole thing with a brand new one. I didn't even show you the new one yet. Here is the new one. It is a Tub Spout Universal Danko. There's various manufacturers of sinks, Delta, and a couple others. But this should do the trick. I'm not sure what these additional pieces are at the bottom there. I think that's an adapter, depending on how you might have to attach it to there. Some of these come off different ways. Some of them have an Allen wrench like that you have to loosen here, and then you can just basically pull it off, but you have to be careful too. I mean, pipes and anything in the home are not like, you can rip them out of the wall, you can rip them, and this one's loose. This one has got some play to it. I'm gonna be careful pulling it off. In fact, I need to pull it off, but it actually came apart on me when I just twisted it, and it left this portion still on there, the plastic portion. And I think I'll be better off taking off that and then taking some pliers and loosening that up, and then swiveling it back and forth and then sliding it off. It's this thing, and in the middle there you'll see like a blue plastic piece. They actually sell this and that blue plastic piece, and then in the middle of that blue plastic piece is like a rubber washer. It's a special type of rubber washer. That's where it's supposed to seal and push all the water up to the shower. They sell. I'm gonna go ahead and loosen it and take that whole thing off there. And it's really that simple once that's loose. So my new one, it has that rubber O-ring in there. That's what creates the seal. So this nut just holds it to the pipe. It doesn't do anything other than hold it in place. It's that rubber O-ring in there, that black thing that keeps a seal. And you're supposed to you can sand this down with some sandpaper to remove any burrs, which I will do, and put some silicone grease on it. Supposedly, I think for that rubber O-ring to slide right over, it should be tight when you push it on. I'm using the regular paste flux, which is usually, I think, what you use to prime those before you sweat them. I think the same will serve the same purpose. That's what I'm going to use. So, all right, next step, I'm just going to do it. I'll show you in a sec. I think this is what I want. It has, the Allen wrench place to attach it right on there. That's the one I just returned with the adapter. And I don't even know how that adapter worked. The instructions are inside, so I don't know. But this is what I got on there now. I like to usually stick with what I had on there, so it's just easier. So that's what I'm doing. I think I'm going with this one. It's cheaper anyways. All right. Mama! Third time's a charm, man. So I'm back to the universal thing again, but this one's longer. I don't know if that's really going to make a difference. I have a problem, and it's this thing underneath here is got a right there. That's where the Allen wrench was over tightened. Or Allen wrench screw was over tightened onto the 1/2-inch copper pipe. It's not punctured, but I want to avoid this. And actually, this thing with the adapter, as I was explaining before, I think you tighten it around the plastic. You'll see when I install it. So I am going to read the instructions and go through that. And the last one that I put on, I was in a rush. I had to run and get my kids. But so it was like sticking out like halfway, It was really short. This one's fairly long. I don't know that really makes a difference. It's in the damn bag. It was like a solid 1/2 inch or more shorter the previous one. So it was like out to here, and I don't want to have to mess with that. There's nowhere for me to attach that to pull it in or push it in or whatever. If I'm explaining that right. So hopefully this will work, and that's what I'm doing. Let me go over my items here. I'm cool. This is the setup I want, and it'll allow me to avoid that, that portion where the copper pipe is dented a little bit from the previous screw that just tightens on there and holds the assembly in place. But when I'm done, this doesn't necessarily have to be in the bottom position. I think somebody like myself who doesn't always know what he's doing thinks that little U there needs to be lined up. It's going to be facing the bottom, needs to be lined up where that screw is. That's not the case, because this just screws on and off with your hand, and sometimes they say stick a hammer like in the opening, a hammer handle to help you unloosen it. But this does not have to be on the immediate bottom portion of that pipe, which is what I want, because I want to avoid that area that's already a little bit pushed in. It's not punctured. I ran the water, observing it, and there's no water leaking out of it, and it would be if it was punctured. So I should be fine. And I'll show you each of the portions, just so you can have a look at the actual faucet and stuff from underneath. That's it from behind. And this is the pipe we're working on. There's not a lot of thing to move that around with, and you wouldn't want to mess with that anyways by like sticking a 2x4 up in there or something to try to bring it in by just like a 1/2 inch or a 1/4 inch or whatever. And I don't need to, because of what I just said to you. So this has got to be about 2 to 3 inches, which it is. It's slightly over, but it's not going to harm anything. There's a couple different options. I'm using the very first option, which is probably the most common option. They give you, these are the things that come with it. This is my stuff over here that I don't even necessarily need. I'm not going to cut the pipe. This is for cutting, if I need to take off like a 1/2 inch, which I don't need to. And this is like, I don't know if I mentioned before, they said use silicone grease. It's flux paste or something like that. I believe you use that to prime pipes right before you're going to sweat them. But that'll work as my silicone grease. This is Teflon tape. They give us some in this. And this is an adapter in case you have a setup where your 1/2 inch pipe already has threads on it. And you would use this, and you can look at the instructions on how to do that. I'm not going to go over that. I looked at it, I understood it, but I'm not going to go through that. So, and then you have, this thing, I don't even know what that's called, this piece, and it has 2 pieces to it. And actually, you're going to take this piece that's in the center there, screwed in there, out of there, like so. So, you're going to take this actually out of there, and you're going to put this on the end of that pipe after you put a little bit of grease on it. I've already sanded it down and made it fairly polished, took all the burrs out of it, and I'll put a little grease on there, and then I'm going to slide this on there, and then you're going to screw this back onto it when it's on there and do it in such a way that it's flush with the wall, all right? So, but I wanted to show you that initially this comes inside here, you know, all right, and the O-ring's at the other end of it, and that's what actually gives you your seal, that O-ring. And that O-ring's gonna be nice and tight over the 1/2-inch pipe, all right? And then eventually you're going to screw this onto there, you know. But before you do that, you know, you're going to tighten this onto that pipe by sliding this over top of it. And I'm going to put it in such a position so that it's not in the same spot where my you know, indented portion of the pipe is that's a little damaged, and tighten it like on the side or even from the top. I'll illustrate that, but I just kind of want to show all the parts and describe it before I go one at a time. I'm going to do this piece at a time. Hopefully, I'm fairly certain I'm in a pretty good angle there. This is the first piece that's going to go on, and this was inside of here, so it came from within there. When it came out of the package, it was already screwed in there, and the O-ring was at the end of this. The O-ring will go right on after that. First, just put a little bit of like grease, whatever, it says silicone grease, I think. I saw in a YouTube video, just so it will slide on there. And it is a little tight, and it should be tight, you know, not a ton, just a little bit. So this slot is where that screw is going to have to line up with, but I think there's a little like circular spot where that screw is going to puncture the plastic, but it should end up going through there. But when you screw these things on together, they should line up. This is going to move on there when I screw it on, but I want it to be in a specific spot. It's a little too close. I want it to be, you know, I want this to end up, you know, line up with the wall, so that this, when it's done, is, you know, is all the way on the wall, pretty snug, you know, not absolutely perfect. But the one I had before, the one I bought the first time it went on, it was like half inch out or more. It was just ridiculous. So now I probably want a little more grease than that. Just a little bit more. I mean, it shouldn't be. Okay. And the threads go on, you know, in first. And I want that little slot. I'll put it on this side. I mean, I try to do this a practice run, so because it's gotta, you know, it's gotta match up when you're done tightening it. But everything moves when you do that. So then the washer, the rubber O-ring. Okay. And now I'm going to just screw this on. Okay, right onto that thing. And I can see it moving. And I'm gonna place it so that the hole's here. Now I'm gonna put this adapter on with my screw and line up that screw with that hole. I think what I'll do is need a screwdriver very quickly. Is I'll screw it hard enough to puncture that plastic hole. I assume that you're supposed to do that. Maybe not. I definitely recommend that you prepare this hole ahead of time. And it is intended, after reading the instructions, for you to just slide this on there and screw it in until it pops it, you know. And I thought that's how it's supposed to do, but it took a little while to pop it, even with it just in my hands doing it. And I didn't want to destroy anything. And you can't necessarily see that it's absolutely lined up on the hole, you know, so I think it's better off, you're way better off, you know, making sure you prepare that hole before you screw it on there, and not try to do it while it's on there, definitely. I even used a drill, you know, to kind of just break through the plastic It's probably not absolutely necessary. I just didn't want to destroy any of the threads. I even cut whatever the plastic that was sort of still hanging on after I punctured through it, and it just kind of remained there with a utility knife, with a blade, you know, so that it's nice and clean. So now I'll put it on there, and actually I should be able to see through that hole this slot that's you know, right there, which is where this thing here, which is where I want this lined up to the side and not on the bottom where my damaged portion of the copper pipe is. You know, hopefully when I go to tighten it all up, it'll work out for me, because, you know, this still has to go on there. And you're going to turn it on there so many turns, it's going to come tight right at a certain spot. It's kind of designed to tighten with that thing on the bottom, but it doesn't have to be. I should be able to work it out. I should. So let me just do that. You know, now that's, but we got this first piece with the threads nearly to the wall, the O-ring, this with the hole sort of drilled already. And they said you could use like a flathead screwdriver to kind of hold that in place, because there is a ridge where you could, but I can just see through the hole. I'm not going to bother showing you. And like I can see I'm covered there, and I kind of want it off to the side. It moved, it turned around on me. It's a little bit too, I want it to the right here. All right, I think I'm pretty good like that. But if I keep tightening, it just keeps, maybe I should do that, but now I'm not. One more time, there, that should be. I want it to be tight, and I also want it to be lined up with my thing, with my slot, which is right there. I get it tight, it's not on the slot. I gotta work this out. I got it worked out. My concern was that, you know, I wanted it as tight as possible, but tightening it as tight as possible makes you just beyond that slot, that where the screw actually reaches through that adapter in the center there to the 1/2-inch copper pipe. You just have to back it up a tiny bit and have it in the position where I want it on the side, and that's it. And screw it in with a pretty decent sized Phillips head. It's a big screw. Maybe I'll put it off to the side just a little bit. Normally it would be like right on the bottom. It's a difficult. Oh. Still low. All right. I think I'm on there. Now I got to put the Teflon tape on and then screw it on and try it. Says 6 to 8 turns of the Teflon tape. I think that's what this is called. That's what I call it. 6 to 8 turns. There's 1, 2. You want to go clockwise the way you're going to tighten on there, so that basically you're not untightening, you know, the Teflon tape when you screw it on there. That's 3-ish, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think I'll go a couple more times. 9 and 10. I'll go for luck. And Now I'm gonna try to screw this on here, man. I mean, that's what we're talking about. So let's. This is where it gets a little tricky. I mean, should I try to go for one more full turn? All right, I think that was good. I'm glad I did one more full turn. All right, I'm gonna test it. Let me just kind of get mentally ready here. All right, I'm gonna test it, man. Here we go. I think I'm hopeful that it's good. I think I did it properly. Water goes on, flowing like that. This is the test right here. Even though that water flow is not that great, that's because it's on the hot. That's the cold. That's pretty much it. That's a heavy amount of, that's much heavier than before. That'll give a nice, powerful shower. I just finished that. I think that's done. And back to that. The hot and cold have slightly different pressure because it's the boiler. It's a tankless hot water heater. But that's done. Problem solved. All right, well, thanks for watching my videos. I really enjoy these videos, even though they don't get me lots of views. I really do enjoy making them quite a bit, and it's almost like, it kind of keeps me company. I feel like you're here, right here with me while I'm doing it. I really enjoy it. So thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me a like down below, and I will see you in the next video. I'm quite happy after all that. Later, man.